I know that you're always welcome here. Okay. I appreciate that. What you said earlier, help with I've got some men come out there, people working, they can start to see what things can happen. And that's what we're all about. Keep up the good work. Yeah.
All right, let's get started.
You're working in.
Sorry.
Very good.
Well, thank you all for coming out. Thank you all who were here earlier. We had a packed room earlier. We had over 200 people who were here for part of the daytime conference. And so now this will be our first ever alumni banquet. And so for those of you who are in the room, I know that you've driven quite a ways just to be here. Many of you have been involved in our Zoom meetings and in our emails and networking. So that tells me a lot. You all are dedicated. So one of the things I would like you to do as we go through this evening and talk about some different things is that we're going to do this next year, and we'd like it to be bigger and reach more people, and potentially have it packed out in the evening like we did earlier today for the daytime conference. So for those of you who weren't here, we had State Representative Steve Toth speak, Director of Rehabilitation Programs Division at TDCJ, Chris Carter, and we had people from the Vera Institute of Justice, Securus Technologies. We had Alexa Garza of the Texas Incarcerated Families Association, and Misty Campbell.
Still here.
And Misty Campbell from Austin Community College speak. So it was a good time. This evening is to honor all of our alumni. And for those who didn't know, when I talk about alumni, when we as Lee College talk about alumni, we don't just mean somebody who graduated from Lee College while they were incarcerated. Because as many of you know, we have people who are involved in our network who didn't necessarily go to Lee College while they were incarcerated, or any college for that matter. But we're proud to have everybody a part of our network and continue to grow it into something that's really beneficial to everybody who it touches. So with that, we will begin, and the first thing we got to do is eat. So we've got fajitas over there. It's just going to be a buffet style line. And once everybody gets situated, we're going to have an open mic. So several people have already expressed interest in getting up and talking about some of the things that they're doing. We'll have an open mic for a little while, and then we're going to give out some awards and hear some speeches from some of the people involved in our network. So with that, Tracy, could you... Oh wait, that's Calvin. Calvin, that's right. Calvin, pray for us.
Oh.
Come on, Calvin.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, you can stand or sit however you're comfortable.
Come on, Cal.
Amen. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, first and foremost, Father, we just thank you for traveling grace and mercy this day, Lord, and allowing us to come together and just have this time of fellowship and, Lord, just share the information and wisdom that you've given us in various areas, Lord, of our lives with one another, Lord, as we continue to grow. We thank you for this meal that we're about to share together, Father God, and we thank you for making it possible that it may be nourishment to our bodies, Lord, and strength to us. And we just give you the honor, glory, and praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right, the food is over there. It's got utensils and plates already out. We'll just start a buffet style line. And
Oh.
Did he come in?
For those of you, if anybody's watching online, we just started dinner and we'll be back in about 10-15 minutes to have open mic and some awards and some explanations of different things we're doing in reentry. Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
I see there's something in the chat. James Jones, Sabrina. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's just people dropping in saying hey.
Okay, cool. How do I know if anybody's actually watching? Oh, there it is. It says 3. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, if you think it's all good, then we can get out. And thank you so much for helping me out with this.
You bet, man. You should be good to go until it's over. You can just click end stream and you'll be good.
Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
His settings because it's not what it is. So he's got to plug it in and then make I don't know what his settings are. It's on the laptop. I don't know if he knows.
That's what people are watching. Nothing.
The last time I met you was, I think, in Mickey Museum, because they had the first one, right?
Yeah.
I walked in, I saw you, I'm like, somewhere. And I said, where go? So I come and I changed it all. But he kept calling me, so.
Yeah, we're gonna let you go.
Yeah, he did.
We're nags. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you. Do you have, where's your computer at? It's up there? Log back in, recalibrate it, make it up. Okay?
So does that mean you're gonna?
It's on. It's just used.
Yeah, let's just leave, yeah. So,
We're live streaming. Stay hot, Paul.
Hey.
Good? All right. You joined us, yes. Here? Good. Yeah.
Tracy.
Yeah.
Took the computer every once in a while.
Okay.
We had three before. Sabrina and James Jones. He's a welder. Now nobody, just two guys. Yeah, well, I thought everybody wanted for No, I'm not worried about them. I'm just like anybody who's watching it does not see anything right now. There's just nothing. I didn't say
You went there. Everybody went home. Yeah, near the end, on the very end, they walk home. Better come on, get yourself.
your first two semesters, Tracy, does your laptop have more than one USB or just one? I mean, port, more than one USB port? Oh, well, that's what I needed.
That's not that bad. Yeah. Keep making food pretty good.
Because you got a PowerPoint from today.
That's hot. Like it hot? No, it's like. Yeah. You probably don't like jump over. She does. I've been doing it. Woman, like a whole new one. I think they're coach Dallas here next year. They don't get off this. He had to have a good coach, Jimmy Johnson. He knows it. John Payton, I think, was an assistant coach that built for sales. He was the head coach in Dallas. He was on that staff before he got to the Warriors. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. No, he did. I like Dave Campbell. He's too old to get that job started, you know. And there may have been something that in the league or something. Many people going to give a second shot in that NFL. And the coach they got now, came from Green Bay, I think. People dig up, but then again, he had Aaron Rodgers. Now, good quarterback to make everybody look good. Even the owner. Everybody got spoiled in Dallas. I got family in Dallas. They got spoiled when they had Troy Aikman up there. Good great from time to time. Michael Irvin. Yeah.
All right, good evening. How's the food? Is this all right? Good, awesome. So the first part of our evening, we're going to do an open mic. So my name is Matt McGinnis. I don't know if I've met everybody here yet. I'm one of the new reentry specialists here, working with Brandon and Tracy. Been here since the beginning of the year. But for the first part of what we're going to do tonight, we're going to do an open mic. So if anybody wants to come up, you're all probably still eating a little bit. And if anyone wants to come up and talk a little bit about what they're doing, what they're working on, or anything that you guys really want to say, go ahead. Now's an opportunity. Come on up.
I'll do it.
What happened to the flyer?
I know everybody's eating. I know everybody's eating. I'll take the bullet. But when I'm done, I'm going back to the fajitas. Y'all, everybody who's online, my name's Craig Caudell. I did 22 years 8.5 on Ferguson, 13.5 on the walls. I did 1 at the Wayne unit while going to truck driving school. Lee College, I got 3 associate's degrees and 1 truck driving certificate. And I would have got more, but they wouldn't let me get any more. So that's the limit. You know, I don't even have anything planned to say. But what's really on my mind is that what's happened to me in the last, I've just been out since August 2nd last year. I started a company. I've got about 11 months of income in that company, and it looks like in my first 12 months, I'm going to gross about $500,000.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. That's not even the best part of my life. That's the smallest part of my life. Best part of my life is I had a brother who hated my guts. And now he trusts his daughter in my home with his 2 granddaughters and tells me I'm counting on you to make sure that the rest of their life is good. It's my niece and my great nieces. There's no amount of money that could have bought that. I was able to hand her $45,000 to help put down on the house that we bought for closing costs, and she didn't have to come out of any money out of her pocket. That's for the family members that wouldn't talk to me, that were never going to speak to me again. That's for the same brother who many years ago wrote to TDC and said, if you ever let him out, you better tell me. I didn't find that out until I was released, and I had a protest letter. I didn't know it was from my brother. He feels pretty bad, by the way. I still made parole. My point is the things that have happened in my life are so hard to believe to somebody who doesn't know us. You can tell somebody that and they'd be like, nah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that's possible. I don't believe any of that's possible. People don't think those kinds of things are possible or could happen. But I'm on Facebook with so many people that have been incarcerated. I've teamed up with a couple of friends I was on the walls with. They just grossed $2.7 million last year. They have 2 construction companies, one in Dallas and one in New Orleans. I'm trying to get with them because they're going places. I'm trying to catch up to those guys. So we've teamed up so that maybe we can make more money together and become more successful and do more things. They do a lot of things with ex-felons as well. So I think if you think about it on a small scale, the things that I've changed in my life and the things that are going to happen and going to continue to change in my life on a small scale, if you put all of us together and you think about all the things that everybody does, I mean, we're making pretty big changes in our communities and in our families, because it starts with us and then it goes to our families and then it goes to our communities. And then it goes to all of the people that live around us and our neighbors. And, you know, we pay taxes now, you know, so, I mean, we have the capability to change the world. And people don't realize that we have that kind of power because of where we've been and what we've been through. You can't stop us because there's no challenge that you can't tell me that I can't overcome because I've already done it. There's nothing you can put in front of me that is bigger than what I've already been through. I've been through combat and I've been through 22 years of Texas prison system. You can't bring anything to me that I can't beat. And every single one of you is the same way because you're sitting here today. So individually, we're very powerful, but together, I don't think anybody can stop us if we get together and do the things that we want to do. The things that Alexa wants to do. We all want to get together and help her do those things. That's her passion. You can see it in her eyes. You can hear it when she talks. That's the kind of passion that brings power. And we all bring that together. So I just encourage every one of you to don't hold back. Whatever you think, I would have laughed in your face if you had told me I would have what I have right now. I would have said, man, are you crazy? There's no way. I'll just be happy just having a job and staying out of trouble and not going back to prison. I don't ever want to go back to prison. I don't want to die there. I'll just be happy with that, just paying my bills. I never would have thought I was where I am in 12 months, less than 12 months. I anticipate over the next few years it will get so big that I might have to, I don't know, give a donation to the college, the dean said. I foresee, and now there's no end in sight, for what I know that I'm capable of. And every single one of you are the same way. And so don't sell any of yourself short. Don't believe that there's nothing that you can't do. I consider myself small time. I thought I was doing great until I went and I visited those two friends of mine in Dallas last week. And he showed me his spreadsheet. And I was like, you weren't exaggerating. Wow. $2.7 million. That's nice. I want that. I just don't think there's any reason to stop. I'm getting old. I don't have any testosterone left, so if I start crying up here, don't hold it against me.
It's all good.
There's nothing that we can't do. I'm just saying, don't stop dreaming, because I promise you that every one of those things that you think are hard to accomplish, you can get every one of them. Every one of them is within your reach. And people around us see us and they watch us. And some of them want us to fail. And the best revenge for that is success. I don't have to say anything to those people. I just look at them and smile. Have a good day. They know what I got. But most people don't feel that way. Most people are happy about having a neighbor that is not committing crimes anymore. Most people are happy about that. I coach a 6-year-old soccer team. They're happy I'm out there teaching their kids how to do stuff. So no matter what you think you can't do, you're wrong. I just say we can change the world, so let's start with Texas. That's it.
That's right.
Perfect. Craig, thank you for coming on to speak. Anybody else? Come on.
Oh, the teeth.
All right.
Go time. Go time, y'all. Y'all better get up there.
Good afternoon, guys. My name's Kelly Rankin. I earned 2 degrees in Lee College, horticulture and business management. I got out in 2018, struggling to find a job. Got a hold of Brandon, and he put me in touch with Corey McMullen, and he put me to work. Worked for him for a few months until I got on my feet, found a job. In 2020, I got COVID. I say COVID saved me. I was working as a graphic designer and in a sign shop. The shop almost got shut down. And when I got sick, I had to stay home. And when I was ready to go back to work, they didn't have any work available. So about 3 weeks later, I got a call from an agency and asked if I wanted to work for Harris County. I said, yeah, absolutely. I've now been with Harris County since 2020. I'm now the ADA coordinator for Harris County elections. So making a difference, make great money. What's most important to me though is that I'm making a difference. It's a great job, great benefits. I've never had insurance before. This last Tuesday, I just had an angiogram and 100% paid for by my insurance. That's great. So, it can be done. I was just an old convict, and now they got me going out on election night, swearing me in as a what's the word I'm looking for?
Election judge.
Yeah, not election judge.
Trusted city official.
Yeah, they're swearing me in to take the ballots and trusting me to take these ballots, put them in my car, and take them and turn them into the county. That's crazy. You know, I never imagined, you know, that I could do this. So, things are great. You know, my team is, we're out there. We're responsible for making sure voting locations are accessible for handicap accessible. And so it's a big job. Harris County, we have 786 voting locations for November that we have to watch over. So it's awesome. I love it. And that's it. That's just like you said a minute ago, just get out there and make a change. You know, and that's all we can do. It's up to us.
Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, I remember talking to Kelly a few years ago, and in the beginning, things weren't so great. Housing situation, transportation, there was just a bunch of drama that he had to go through, but he got through it. And it is interesting, is working in political campaigning and working with ADA, because most of the stereotype about people who get out of prison is that we're doing menial jobs, low-paying jobs, just struggling to survive. And for many of us, that is the case. But everyone in this room, not only did you drive several hours to get here, so you have the capacity to do so, but we've all excelled, whether it is in academics, our work life, the community, and families, things like that. And those are some of the things that I'd really like to promote, you know, moving forward into the future. So most of you, I gave a survey that I recently put together, civic engagement survey, because recidivism stats only tell us that we're not going back to prison. So everyone in this room, we're not going back to prison, but no one knows what we're actually doing. And so some of the things that Craig talked about, some of the things Kelly spoke about, and some of the things that others are going to discuss are really important for others to know, to sort of break down the typical stereotype. It's that kind of stereotype which leads property managers to believe that they're going to be liable for something they're not if they allow someone with a felony to live on their property. That stereotype is what leads employers to be hesitant to hire somebody with a felony. It's the insurance agents, like you just mentioned, health insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance, all of that is higher for people who have felony convictions, and a lot of it is just driven by stereotypes. None of us in this room fit. And so telling those stories is something I really hope moving forward we can do, and we can do it as a group. So this room in particular, like I said when we first started, you can envision what will happen next year, that we double or triple those of us who are coming out of the woodworks to come together and network to make a change. That's the kind of thing I would like to see, or we would like to see really moving forward. So to that effect, anybody else want to, Damon? Okay.
Thank you, Brandon. I have to come up after my fellow Harris County person. I also work for Harris County. I got incarcerated at 16. I was released at 33, so right at 17 years. And the good brother said, when I was talking to him, like, man, I couldn't even imagine he was locked up. And you always want to hear that, especially coming from somebody else who's incarcerated. So part of what I wanted to do when I was released is that I didn't want to be a part of the group, right? I didn't want to be a part of the meetings and stuff, because I was like, man, I need to learn how to live in society, you know, being a kid. And before I left, my last prison was Caravans, and I asked a guy named Ed Fowler, who was our journalism mentor. And so Ed wrote for the Chicago Tribune, Kansas City Telegram, Houston Chronicle, and another one. That's my album, Community College for you, college guys. So I had a business plan. It was for a magazine, and it was kind of bringing what was going on in prison and what was going on in society. I didn't know what was going on in society, but this is what I thought. So I put together this business plan for a magazine, and I was gonna go to college when I got out. I went to University of Houston, graduated from there with a bachelor's in broadcast journalism, and I gave Ed my business plan. And I said, Ed, would you review my business plan for me? He said, sure, David. So he reviewed it for me and came back a week or so later. Great business plan, David. This is Ed, you know Ed. David, great business plan, outstanding. But what about your life plan? You never paid a bill as a grown man. You never put a deposit down on your apartment. You never had a job. You never paid taxes. And that kind of shifted what I thought I was going to do and who I thought I was going to be, because I had to be that much more serious because I didn't have backing. My parents had passed away. My grandparents passed away when I was incarcerated. I went to a transition facility. I had a GPS monitor on for 2 years. So I'm going through all these struggles and adjusting to who I don't even know who I want to be in society. And so when he said that I needed a life plan, that kind of helped me stay focused on the plan that I was able to create before I was released from prison. And that plan led me to the University of Houston. My first job in my life, 34, I think 33, was at H&R Block. I waited tables downtown. I was able to intern at ESPN Radio, something that was just amazing. So I quit my job. I'm like, I'm at ESPN. I quit the job. I just went to school full time because I had saved up a couple dollars and ended up selling cars and being financially successful in selling cars and still on parole. I was number 3 in Houston for 2 years, working for Kia, selling cars, top 40 in the nation, in Costa Rica on parole. People trying to get me to go around just to leave the state. I'm like, I'm not leaving. But I got a trip to Costa Rica, so I went to petition the parole, and I ended up going to Costa Rica, came back, and I got into this work. This is why I met Brandon, that this was kind of my transition. I don't even know if Brandon knows. This is my transition because I didn't want to sell cars anymore because I wasn't being fulfilled. And so now I met Brandon at the job fair, White Boys job fair that 1 year. And so I was there looking for a job. Like, I didn't want to sell cars. I mean, I was making the money, of course. And so I met Brandon, we was talking, and he told me what he was doing. I'm like, this is amazing, working on a doctorate and working for the college and being incarcerated. And I didn't think that we could do those things as much success as somebody would have thought I would have had. I didn't think that we could do those things. And so I ended up getting a job at Sarah Jobs, matter of fact. And I became the outreach coordinator. And the next year, at the same job fair, I went back and I had a table. Brandon had his table. Y'all know Brandon always got a table somewhere. So Brandon had his table and I had my table because I was the outreach coordinator at Sarah Jobs. And though I had worked with some people before, volunteering for the ACLU, volunteering for Baker Griffin, volunteering for TSU, and a couple people were training me while I still was selling cars. I didn't know what they were training me for. And again, I want to stop right there because it's important what you guys are now doing in prison. You don't know what you're training people for. You'll never get the accolades. You'll never get the praise. You'll never know what the end goal of somebody's story is. And because I was able to be trained by people that saw something in me, I ended up not only working at Sarah Jobs, I ended up working with a guy named Anthony Graves. I went to the Texas, the first ever Anthony Graves won Justice Speakers Bureau at TSU in partnership with ACLU, and we were able to write a bill that got passed on the first session in 2019. And then I went back to selling cars, right? Mad as I ain't no cussing at y'all. Mad as I don't know what. I'm selling cars again. I'm frustrated because my heart is over here. And so I finally pick up and I call Anthony. You know how when you're looking for a job and you know some people, but you start with the people, hey man, I need a job. Hey, you know anybody hiring? Then you go to that next level. Man, let me call the other people. So I got to Anthony, I got to this level. Anthony said, I may have something for you. And he called me one day. Anthony had got a position at the Public Defender's Office, Harris County Public Defender's Office. I ended up being the first ever in America, me and another guy, so two, first ever in America, peer navigators for the Harris County Public Defender's Office. So just like my brother back here, I had a badge. So I was certified as an adult in 1994. I went to court 248. I have a badge still to this day, and I swipe into the back of the courthouse. I don't go through the front anymore. I swipe in the back of the courthouse, and I didn't know it was a back door, right? So now I'm going through the back doors. I was in and out of Harris County Jail, assisting families as they went through the justice system. The families that were outside and the men and women that were on the inside. I got another opportunity where I'm here right now, still for Harris County. I am the community coordinator for the Harris County Violence Interruption Program. And I supervise 8 individuals in the 4 most violent zip codes in the Harris County. We work to stop the violence through interruption, mediations, and just build relationships with those that are in Harris County. So the 4 most violent zip codes, right? I supervise 4 individuals that are still on parole. They're calling us credible messengers. They're calling us people with lived experience. Hey, okay. But I have an opportunity because years ago, Donna, and though Sarah Bowles was my counselor, you've done so much over the years. So you guys don't understand, Mr. Adam, the things you've done over the years, you'll never know what you've done for somebody. You'll never know the impact because you continue to give from your heart. You continue to give from your heart, you'll never know the impact that you can put on somebody else's life. So again, on behalf of myself, those of us, thousands that have graduated through all these educational programs, we appreciate you guys. And I have a question for you too, Mr. Kelly, because today I wrote an email and I supervised Quincy. Y'all, Quincy is tough, man. He's a tough individual to supervise. I talked to Quincy for 1 hour and 6 minutes last night. I got off at 6 and we talked from 8 to 9 or something. So I'm supervising Quincy, but it's a blessing because you guys put in the Quincy. But today I wrote an email and I'm gonna tell Quincy this here with you guys, and because I'm off the clock, you can't hold it against me. I sent an email, 4 individuals on parole. With the election, we get to go out and we get a what is it called? A holiday, a floating holiday, right? We get a floating holiday if we go out and we pick up all these voting machines, right? I know I have individuals on parole because I was on parole when I worked at said job, so I understood what was going to happen. And I tell the guys, hey, you're going to run into certain things because you have this good position, but you're still on parole, you're still on supervision. I sent an email today to someone in the office and I said, I have some individuals that's on parole and they want to get this floating holiday. But the email said, you have to, this is what the email said, you have to register, you have to be registered to vote by October 11, 2020. I got 4 individuals that can't register. You have to be registered to vote October 11, 2022. I sent an email, hey, how can we work on this to be able to get these individuals who want to earn this floating holiday, how can we work to get these individuals, they don't have to touch the machines, let's get them a part of the voting process, because when I got my rights back to vote, I felt like a citizen, right? The end of the email said, Damien, stay in your role as community coordinator. I went back about 4 or 5 times today. Damien, stay in your role as community coordinator. We'll talk in a minute to see what can happen. But it's those type of battles that we're facing now. And that's a great battle. That's a great battle to face because I have 4 individuals that are currently on parole that I'm able to supervise, that because I went through these jobs and these experiences, that I can now have insight to say, hey, man, you need to be a part of the election process. You need to prepare to go out of the country while you're on parole. So again, I thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming, Kelly, because we're going to talk in a minute so we can figure out what can happen. But you guys are amazing, and I appreciate it. And Allen Community College as well.
I got something to say before y'all turn it over, man.
Absolutely. Come on.
I gotta get in there where I fit in, right? Speech was like the only B I ever really made. One of the only B's I made in college, and now I'm a DJ, right? You don't give a DJ a microphone. But I did want to touch on some bullet points on the way over here that kind of popped into my mind, man. I was waiting for the exit. I keep seeing Huntsville. I'm thinking, man, Huntsville's Texas, right? It's almost synonymous with word prison, right? It's like, that's what it's known for, right? Old Sparky. That mentality, that old mind state of lock them up, throw away the key, and just forget about it, man. Lost cause in society. And a lot of us got wrapped up in that, that justice system. We went in with hard work, grit, determination, but all for the wrong reasons, right? But we were forged in that crucible called prison, right? And it turned us into something stronger, and we come out, and those of us who used it for the right reasons, guided by the right people, for those reasons, molded and shaped in there, and we turned it for a positive, right? And we got out, and we've done a lot of good. A lot of us have, man, and we learned a lot of lessons in there. And we learned that everything happens for a reason. Everybody we meet, everybody we come into contact, inside, outside, free world, inmates, it's molded and shaped us into individuals who I feel the world needs. The world needs guys and women, especially, out there doing these things, going through, learning things the hard way, coming out and using those skills and then passing it on, right? Keeping it going, making the world a better place, right? And so in my mind, I'm thinking Huntsville needs to eventually get to a place that's synonymous with change, rehabilitation, and for a positive. And like Craig said, never settle for less, right? Keep going, keep striving. It's people like Brandon. People like, I call her Dean Zuniga, right? She's President Zuniga now. And, that's been fighting for years. Crane Diddy, man. Y'all been, hard-headed, wrestling with politicians, closed-minded individuals that don't, just don't want to hear it. We don't deserve taxpayer dollars for an education, right? It's a lost cause. And, so, yeah, Zoom meetings, conferences, great. Going up there in front of board meetings, dealing with politicians, great, man, but it doesn't stop there, man. Keep going. We're going to keep striving with that hard work, that grit, that determination, and see where it goes, right? See where God blesses it, man, like He's blessed those in here in this room, which is just a handful of us with great stories, positive inspiration. And for that, I go ahead and get the DJ off the microphone.
I wanted to thank everybody that came up and talked and everybody that came in to be here tonight. I myself was never incarcerated. Actually, my career is a little different. I started at TDCJ. And don't hold this next part against me, but I was a parole officer for several years. I know. And the best part of my day, or the best part of any of my days, was getting to feel like I actually helped somebody. Come into my office and actually help somebody. And I bounced around some other parts of TDCJ. I was in the training division. I worked with RID. But that was always the best part. And when I came here to Lee College, I get to feel that way every day. That we actually get to be with a group of people who are making changes, who are doing these incredible things. And I feel very grateful to be a part of that, just to even observe some of that, to observe you guys and to be here tonight. So I want to thank you as well. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next part of our evening. So we got a couple of awards that we're going to give out. So, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Before you move on. I just want to thank all of you for being here tonight. This is your night, and we're going to continue to have a homecoming. It may be in this format, maybe a picnic. I don't know. We need feedback from all of you and the folks that couldn't be here tonight. But we want to continue this because this is to honor you. I was so proud today listening to our panel, to our speakers, and it just gives you such pride. And, Paul and I have been in this business a very long time. I'm not going to tell you how long, most of you already know, but, I'll tell you, with Lee College, 36 years, and I've loved every bit of it. There have been some really dark days. I mean, we've lost so many times we've lost funding for our program. At one time, we lost 78% of the funding for our program. And I had to RIF faculty twice, which was horrible. There were still people today still don't speak to me for that, even though we fought like hell in Austin to save the program. But, you know, Paul and have just instant gratification all the time. And sometimes you wonder, you know, what drives you to continue this? I mean, to have sleepless nights, to worry. You know, I could find a job somewhere, but I didn't want another job. You know, I wanted the job I had. And I'm sure I can speak for Paul as well. We wouldn't be here this long. But our motivation was you. And sometimes, you know, people ask me, well, why do you do this? You know, and sometimes, you know, I don't know. You know, it's just something intrinsic that you want to give back. I've been an educator all my life, but this level has been so rewarding to work with people. And it's, you know, people maybe that haven't had a chance. Many of you have said, you know, lawmakers, different citizens think, oh, they don't need an education. Absolutely, you need an education. Everybody should have that right. And, you know, Pell is definitely going to make a big difference. We're not going to be sweating every summer. Are we going to have enough money to pay the tuition? I mean, we've been out beating doors with businessmen who were gracious, you know, to help us and to give us fairly large sums of money to help float our tuition through the summer because we didn't have enough of the money loan from, you know, the TDC loan to cover the tuitions. So, you know, I feel like this is God's work. I really do. Because there's no way we could be here tonight after, well, what is it, Paul? 57 years now?
Yeah.
And I would say there's been more dark days than bright days. But at this point, you know, the Pell has made all the difference in the world. We became one of the first second chance Pell colleges in 2016, and we're on a roll. Right now, almost 90% of our student enrollment is covered with Pell. And that's freed up money to modernize, you know, some of our computer equipment, to buy more updated textbooks. We're doing online, you know, and I'm not really saying that online is the answer for all of our programs. I don't think it is. I think it is something that's vital for our students to learn how to use computers, how to get out in the world and know how to apply for a job. But there's nothing like a teacher in that classroom to make a connection with the students. There's nothing like a counselor. I started in the program as a counselor. And I'll tell you what makes me sad is when I go on units and somebody will call me, Ms. Price. Well, I know immediately they've been there a long time because they knew me as a counselor when I was Ms. Price. And, you know, that does kind of hit you, you know, when you see that. But I would say that's far and few between. But what makes us motivated to do what we do is you. And just to hear the trials and the tribulations that we know what you go through in prison. It's not a holiday, but it has shaped you to be the person you are today, and you've risen above that. And some of the most successful people I know and the most motivating people I know are people that have gone through incarceration. So, you know, I don't recommend that, but if you have made something out of it, and you're continuing down that path. So I'm very proud of all of you. I'm proud of all of our students, and I just want you to keep doing great things. So thank you. We're passing around a sheet that puts your name, your address, email. We will be paying you for your mileage because we appreciate you being here. We know it's, you've had to make sacrifices to drive and to take the day, many of you the whole day. So just know that we do deeply appreciate you and continue to be a part of this, okay?
Thank you.
Get that dough out.
All right, so now we're gonna go with the awards for tonight. So Tracy, you going first?
All right, the first thing we want to do is recognize someone who really left a lasting impression as a student in the activities he was involved in while he was locked up. The activities he was involved in while he was locked up gained national attention. It was a really good thing for Lee College, but it was also something that really showed the world, the public, other universities, just what incarcerated students are capable of in terms of their intellect, their ambition, their desire. And not only did we as a school, and I'm being vague here for a reason, not only did we as a school pull that off once, but we also did it twice. And this person has continued to be an inspiration, a public speaker, great in public speaking, and just a motivation to those who are still incarcerated and to those who will one day follow in his footsteps. And so that, with that said, we would like to present Mr. Craig Caudle. Craig, would you like to prepare? So, Craig, you are a part of the infamous debate team. And these are two of the plaques that we had during the debate team, one of which has been signed. And some of us here at Lee College signed the back as well, but we just wanted you to have those. This is what, for the 2016-2017, this is what, the 5-year anniversary of these debates. So other schools across the country have done something similar in terms of having incarcerated students debate free world institutions. But what Craig was a part of was pretty significant, not only because they whooped Texas A&M, which is where their mentor was from. They also did the same thing with Wiley College, the Wiley College, that was the focus of the great debaters. So thank you so much, Craig, for what you're doing.
Wow, I did not know about this. Yeah, this debate program was groundbreaking nationally. It actually got international news. That I don't even know if you guys know about all the attention that it got. David Mays, one of my debate partners, was on the phone with somebody trying to do some business with his company that he works with, and the guy it was for flowers.com, back when he was doing the company that he was trying to provide for things for prisoners to order. Well, the guy who owns flowers.com watched our debate, and he was like, "That was you?" And I don't know if you know this, but the person, you remember I just told you a little while ago that my brother, and how much he hated me because all he knew was I was a drug addict who went to prison. And his daughter is my niece, and we all reconnected because she was doing some research online about law and prison and came across this debate and decided to click on it. And now they hadn't spoken to me in decades at this point. And she clicked on this and she knew it was in Texas and she saw it and she goes, is that my uncle? And that debate actually connected me back to my family because of that. And I don't think I ever told you that. And she told me she expected me to have neck tattoos and lightning bolts all over me or something like that. I said, no, that's a different kind of prisoner. Anyway, so this debate program was gigantic. It was groundbreaking. We made Texas A&M so mad they went and won state the next week. So, hopefully we might even get it started back up if it all goes well. But thank you guys so much. It was instrumental in my life. So thank you.
Thank you.
raised the morale of that whole unit. And Gordon Jones was phenomenal. You know, he packed that through on the inner TV thing, and that was really exciting.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tracy Williams. I'm one of the reentry specialists for Lee College. Martin Luther King said the time is right always to do what's right. What we did at the conference today, bringing legislators, schools all across for college and prison programs was done right by Lee College and all those that participated, from the staff to upper administration to all the people that participated. It was done right. And I think that it was done right because Lee College honors its alumni, what we're having here today, alumni banquet. And so I'm here to present an award for alumni member. Just imagine in your mind, have you ever had that little brother or a friend or individual there that always had your back? An individual that always is there to help. Those people are hard to find, and there are few and far in between. So if you can think in your mind, there are individuals in the world that still like this in the world we live in. So what can I say about this individual except that he's engaged, always ready to go. If it's trash that needs to be picked up, let me help. If I can lend a hand, I'm there. This individual is ready to go and always enthusiastic when it comes to things involving the alumni. So keep in mind, we said alumni means any individual that graduated or just went to Lee College. So who am I talking about today? He's always ready to help. Always has a great idea. If I remember correctly, it was his idea to start the support groups that we have. And this one alumni that I'm talking about, somebody that came out and DJ'd at my birthday party. So who I'm talking about is none other. Would you please stand to your feet and help me give a round of applause to Adam Lane, DJ, and the winner of the first annual Alumni Engagement Award. You was even picking up trash a while ago. Y'all see that?
I gave it a minute ago. I don't have anything left.
Yeah, let me say something on this also. Why don't you read what that says there?
Just the paragraph? Oh,
The sentence right
okay,
there.
let's say. In recognition of outstanding loyalty to Lee College Huntsville Center, alumni programs for always being present and eager to contribute to both past and future alumni through service in all areas.
Right. One of the enduring characteristics of Adam is his enduring characteristics, his loyalty and his faithfulness. It was his idea to start the Zoom support calls, and we've been doing it for 2 years now, and I think he's been at every single one for the last 2 years. Not just the one that I do on Wednesdays, but also the newest one that Tracy has started on Thursdays. And he's here today, DJing and supportive and doing whatever he can to help. And so we just had to recognize him for what he's doing. And his involvement is something that we hope to see with other alumni in the future. So,
Yeah, I'll
go on and say something.
You know, DJ microphones. You know, it's like Huntsville, Texas, and prisons, right? DJing microphones. So I just want to say, honestly, you know, when I hit the ground, Ferguson unit, it was beginning of 2002, and man, I said I just had it on my mind. I knew, you know, I got to grip the time I'm fixing to have to serve, and I'm fixing to try to get the education, do it the right way, right? Do something. I got to make a change, right? If this is gonna happen, it's got to be for a reason. I can't just, you know, sit back and not let it be for nothing. And that's the way it's felt the whole time. And I stumbled across a Bible verse that said, all things work for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. Right? And that right there struck me. It's like, okay, open my mind, right? I need to see larger, see bigger, and realize I'm here for a reason. The people we meet are there for a reason, right? So I saw, everybody in my life instrumental to me in my path. And God put them in my life for a reason. It starts with, Dean Zuniga, Kareem Diddy, all you guys. And then it culminated to, Brandon. He was one of the last classes I tutored with. I was tutoring with Kobe, Oldham. And man, it's just, these people are instrumental in your life, man. But I looked at Brandon and I saw Brandon. I said, man, this cat is doing what I want to do. He is a guy that was a living, breathing testimony of evidence of not only a person who was strong-willed and determined to get out and change people's perspective of ex-convicts, but he also showed you the open-mindedness of Lee College in rehabilitation. That not only do they preach that they will open doors, people will open doors for ex-convicts, they open their door to ex-convicts, right? And they're not just, your run-of-the-mill ex-convict, man. These are guys who got out, did it, fought tooth and nail to get a doctorate degree, to get out and serve society. And it's not that they're doing it for themselves or their bankroll or their bottom line. It's not that. No, it's for society. It's to build a future, not only for themselves, but to give back and to change those mindsets, those old hard mindsets that I was talking about that are synonymous with Huntsville, Texas. And it's going to be us in this room that's going to change that perspective and makes Huntsville, Texas synonymous with rehabilitation and change and future for people that never saw one, never had one. So with that, thank God, thank you all.
All right. With that, we'll do our final award this evening. I'm excited to give this one out as well. Let me just read this one. It says, in recognition of outstanding community engagement through a multitude of acts of service to others within the greater community, reflecting the highest ideals of a Lee College Huntsville Center alumni. Adam's award said alumni engagement, his involvement with what we're doing in terms of our network, staying in contact and communication, helping us with things like Zoom and Facebook and whatever we need to keep people networked. And this individual has done that as well, but what he has done has really gotten out and involved with the community in a number of ways. So I'm going to start talking about some of those, and he'll know who he is. And you will understand really why we wanted to recognize what he's doing. So this individual just recently, well, first of all, he started a nonprofit in addition to his day job. One of the things that was interesting about him was that when he got out, I think in the beginning, he had two jobs, and he learned how to do the skills requisite for one of those jobs in such a way that he was able to move up in pay and essentially get a different job, because he would take things home at night and learn how to build different things and learn through watching YouTube. So this is a person who is really ambitious and dedicated to improving himself in the workforce. But then he quickly branched out into the community and has won some congressional recognition for his work in the community. He's spoken in middle schools. He's involved, as Damien said, is also involved with gun violence movements. And most recently, he was proud to show us that his face is on a billboard in Houston talking about gun violence. And so with that, I would like to recognize Mr. Quincy Moore. Come on up, Quincy. I can't keep up with Quincy on the entrepreneurship level. I didn't even describe all the stuff that you're doing, like the Billionaire Network. And so with that, we're going to transition into our speaking portion. You're going to be our first speaker, so you could elaborate on some of the things that you've been doing in the community. So I was really excited to give this to you, and Scott. I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate you, Lee College, and all those that have something to do with bringing returning citizens that graduated from Lee College back here to where we can organize with one another. And man, it's really humbling. You know, I really shy away from receiving awards or compliments or whatnot. I kind of shy away from it, so you know it's kind of knocked me out of balance. But I've been home. I had a 35-year sentence. I did 18 years on that sentence. And for lack of words, I wasn't a good person before I went to prison. And I grew up while I was in prison. And it was instructors in Lee College like Scooter, Cream Diddy. Matter of fact, Cream Diddy, he in business class, he read me my memorandum rights. And I told Cream Diddy at graduation, I said, I'm gonna read those memorandum rights to my son. He said, huh? I said, yeah. Because I want to be the first one to read those to my son. So a police officer never have to read them. My son and my youngest son, he's in the Air Force. He's an airman over in England. My oldest son, he's in the Army. He's a sergeant over in Killeen. You know, and say that you can't be a father behind bars, that's a lie. Especially when you got a stumped down woman with you, you know. But man, coming home, I wanted to help rebuild the communities I was a part of destroying. And so I had a ferocious appetite to sit there and right the wrongs that I done. So I didn't accept no excuses. My fire has not been depleted in no shape, form, or fashion. I didn't accept none of it. I got home, I was making $8 an hour. That $8 went to $11 an hour, went to 15. Like Brandon said, I didn't know how to do it, so I went to YouTube University. My motto is, if no one would help you, I would help myself. Then I would help someone else. So they wouldn't give me a job, I created a job. I started my lawn care with a broke lawnmower. Moore's Lawn Care and Outside Services. When the rest come up less, ask for more. I'm gonna come through, you know? And it went from there. And so my community actives work in the community, they got me on the radar in Harris County. Hey man, would you like to come over here and help men stop killing themselves in the community? Yeah, and we gonna pay you. Absolutely. I'll come over there. So that's what the community violence intervention. We got trained by Chico Tillman and Mark McAllister. These are the right-hand men to Joe Biden. They're what you call subject matter experts. Damien is our supervisor. We go into versus neighborhoods in Houston, and we decrease the homicide rate. Just because of our credibility when we was in the streets as credible messengers. It's a dangerous job. Harris County can't help us enough for it. But you got to have a passion for this, you know? And this is what we do on a daily basis. This is giving back. There's no award for that. And so it ties into the network system. When we speak about networking, I look around at the minds and the men that are in here. How y'all understand what networking is? It's character. We know the people who progress and who don't. They got a nasty attitude. You never know the people that you cross. Those are the same bridges that you have to come back to get a hand. Me and Kelly didn't know we'll know when we see each other out here in the free world. We was in horticulture class. Me and Damien didn't know we would be working with each other. And many people that we have came and we have involved ourselves with, we never know we'll cross their paths again. And those are the same people who give us a helping hand because of character. Individuals that are getting out of prison, your character will get you places your education won't. Your character will get you some places, bro. Have good character. It will take you a long way. That's dealing with networking. But it's not always you meet someone to meet them, but you introducing yourself to them as well. Get your 37 pitch. Know your value. Know who you are. Let people know who you are. If you can't speak about who you are, no one else will. There are many people out in the system that help get into places. Why? Because they knew how to articulate the value of themselves. No one knows the value of you more than you know yourself. And we have to understand that. So this is my motto for those returning citizens and those that can hear me on there, who can see me on Facebook. Repeat after me. If no one will help me, nah, we ain't gonna do that right now. Y'all some college graduates. If no one will help me, I will help myself. And then I will help someone else. If no one will give me a job, I will create a job. And give a job to someone else. That's the mindset that we have to have. You look at this brother who made millions. You look at brothers like Damon. You look at dudes like Brandon. These brothers are inspirational. Look at the award that Tracy got. Look at the mindset. They work for that. They earned that. You get what you strive for. Man, look, I don't care what they won't give me. I'm going to go out there and create it. I got 11 felonies on my back. You got one. How you going to tell me you can't get no job? How you going to tell me that, man? No, bro, you got to have a ferocious appetite that you refuse to lose. And that right there is how you create your network. See, when you network, you never have to sweat work. When you network, you never have to sweat work. I'm going to get out because I'm sweating. Thank you all.
This next speaker, I don't need no paperwork to introduce him. This individual is somebody that's gifted. He's talented. And I'll definitely say this to the family over there in a nice way. He is a clown. He is a clown. Playwright, author. We ran across each other when I was a field minister on the co-field unit. And this individual loved writing plays. He loved trying to say in these plays, trying to convey a message to individuals to change their lives. And so we had a light passion because I did the same. And I kind of took him under my wing a little bit to show him the other side of how to produce these, how to put these together. And I'd like to say we did some great things. And, you know, possibly in the future, now that we're both out, we will definitely do something. But this individual is not only gifted and talented and has a loving family, but this individual has a heart for people. You have to have a heart for people to want to inspire or want these individuals to change. And I don't want to steal his thunder, but his relationship that he has with Christ would probably be the greatest thing that I could say about him. I love him like a brother. He's a friend, and you always, have my regards. And I'd like to introduce y'all to Jameson Swan Charles. I'll get him to tell you the story about why we call him Swan.
Hello, everybody. I ain't gonna freestyle like him. I brought notes.
That's right.
That's the writer in me. Just in case I don't make it to the end of this, and just in case I'm never in a room full of people like this again, I want to make sure I say all praises to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Because one day I'm going to be held accountable for this moment, and I want to make sure that I make my Lord look good. To the esteemed alumni of Lee College, I am not one of you. I am, however, an esteemed alumnus of a place you call prison. I like to call it Adversity University. And within the walls of Adversity University, I learned some wonderful things. But first, let me run a couple of numbers by you. 8, 18, and 50. I had 8 felonies by the time I was 18 years old, and I got 50 years on each of them. And then the feds came in, and they said, oh, remember that whole car situation? Well, that's a new law. They call it carjacking now. Well, we want you to. For how long? 18 years. 18 years on earth, now you go 18 years to prison. I was crushed. My family was crushed. This was not supposed to be my life. I wasn't in the streets. I literally went from my bedroom to a prison cell, and no one knew how it even happened. There's a saying, hurt people hurt people. And I went straight down immediately when I got that sentence because I figured there's no way I'm gonna make it. But just like hurt people will hurt people, healed people will heal people. And my healing process started the second day I arrived at prison. The first day, it got worse. Because the very first day I came to prison, someone committed suicide. And I asked the guy who I was walking with, how can somebody even do that? He said, well, if you had 40 years, you might do it too. I said, brother, I got 240 years. So good luck with all that. And let me tell you how good God is. Man, people had so much sympathy for me when they saw me and they saw my youth, and they would ask me, no matter what they did, they always would ask me, man, how old are you? And it was 18, 19, 20. Whatever year I gave them, they all gave me the same look. Some would even say, man, it's over. It's over, man. Dang. I hate it happened to you. But I had a secret weapon. I had a hard praying mama. And she wasn't having it. She would write me letters over and over and over. And at the end, she would always put a Bible verse. These Bible verses meant nothing to me at the time. But I kept the letters because I wanted to keep a part of my mom with me. So I kept these letters. And every now and then, when it took a little too long for her to write, I would go back and check these letters out. And I would see certain scriptures. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. All these things came to pass in my mind. I was reading, still didn't mean anything to me until I took a class, a challenge class, a cognitive class, where the man asked us one question: who means something to you? Write it down on paper, give it to me. We went through a year of this class, and at the end of the class, he presented us letters. And these letters contained the stories of all of the people who we loved. And they made us read these letters out loud. And it was the first time I saw for a fact that I wasn't the only one doing time. My family was too. I read about how my sister wishes I was there because she missed me so much. And I didn't get a chance to vet her boyfriends or teach her how to drive, and that stuff meant something to me. And my mom talked about how she always has a piece missing at holidays. She always has family around and it's fun, but she always looks at the seat where no one's sitting, and that's my seat. And it hurt her a lot. And reading these things, I said, I gotta do better. I gotta do better. I was 33 years old. I was 15 years in. Wasn't doing no kind of right. But I said, I gotta change. It's gotta be a change. And then the state came in and said, oh, those 50 years, we still want you. When you're done with the feds, you're gonna come to the state. And the first thing they said, you're gonna hate the state. And they wasn't lying. I hated the state. I couldn't stand anything about it. But I had one rock bottom moment that changed my life. We were near an airport. And planes were flying. And I was looking out. I was enamored because I'd never been anywhere. I'd never seen anything. And so I saw these planes, and I was like, wow, man, I would change places with anybody on any plane going anywhere because I hated my life just that much. And then I went to prison, and I met a man. I met a man that would change my life forever. And his name is Jesus Christ, who only lived 33 years on this earth. But in that 33 years, he fulfilled over 300 prophecies, and he changed every life that even uttered his name. I took that to a Bible study class, and I went from taking the class to assisting in the teaching of the class. And before I knew it, Tracy and I were writing plays, faith-based plays, showing these inmates what we look like, what we really look like. And we would have 500 men inside of that chapel every year, laughing out loud, but thinking hard, wow, do I really look like that? James Baldwin once said, anything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's faced. And I had to face the fact that I always let people down, and it was finally time for me to turn up. And what I did was I turned up in Christ. And so when parole came around after 25 years and everyone was saying, well, you won't make the first parole. You got too much going on. You got too many felons. You really weren't that good of a guy in prison. But things changed. I was just crazy enough to believe what God said in Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, saith the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. And I was all in on that. And so when the guy shook my hand, I knew I was going home. Despite what they said, I knew I was going home. Because God whispered to me. He said, it's comeback season. And I believed him. My comeback season started real quick too, because I got home. My family was waiting on me. I got a chance to be with my mom. Finally, I got a chance to participate in all of the activities that I missed. I got a chance to know my brother-in-law with his snappy dressing self. I got a chance to finally make amends with my dad. We never saw eye to eye, never. We were beefing harder than the Crips and the Bloods. But when I got home, he became my most trusted ally. But then adversity happened. They said you're gonna have to wear an ankle monitor. And you're gonna have to put every activity you take, you have to do it a week in advance. And I said, wow, okay, cool, I can do that. They said, oh, it's just till February. Then they came back and said, it's just till October. But. And I think I was supposed to feel hurt. I think I was supposed to be taken aback, but I wasn't. Because we are graduates of Adversity University, remember? And if you can make it through prison, you can make it through anything out here. This is nothing. We eat bad news for breakfast in prison. We wake up with bad news waiting to happen. So it's nothing. So when they told me, well, you're going to have to wear a monitor, you have to do this, you have to do this, I said, is that all? Yeah, have at it. And I said, gladly. With that ankle monitor, I got my first job. Shout out to Tex Joy Seasoning Company for making sure I go home extra spicy every day. And I was able to walk into a bank for the first time and leave out there with a bank account. Me, I never had any money. And so I leave out, I got a bank account with an ankle monitor. And I take that ankle monitor to church every Sunday. And if you're ever in Beaumont, Texas, on the fourth Sunday, you'll see me preaching. Christ Mission Temple. Check us out one day. It'll blow your mind how such a small church can have so much love. With an ankle monitor, I also made it, finally, to an interview where I earned my first book deal with that ankle monitor. I also was able to spearhead 2 halfway houses in our area for Thanksgiving meals with an ankle monitor. I've since become the outreach specialist for my church and my job. Every month we can be found in Franklin House, another halfway house, where we bring them supplies and all of the clothes that they need and inspiration. We pump life into that place because we know we can do 2 things and we don't do nothing else. We can impact people and we can influence people. Whether it's bad or good, everything you say registers with people. So why not speak life into them with an ankle monitor? I also was able to meet the woman of my dreams with an ankle monitor. She said, I've been in the military 27 years. I said, well, I've been in street military 27 years. Let's do it. 1 year later, after spending every single moment loving each other and appreciating each other for real, she confided in me that she had a man, but she never had a man of God. That's a big difference. It's a big difference. Because if your relationship with him is right,
all of your other relationships will be right too. I asked that woman to marry me a year later with an ankle monitor. She said yes. She's right there. I love you, baby. Now, you can't tell her she's not the lucky one. Of course, we all know it's me, right? Okay. But because I made a promise to her that certain things I just can't do right now, but one day maybe, but I said the one thing I can do, I can outlove everybody who's ever known you. And have I not done that? And that's only because, it's not because it's me. It's greater that it's he that is in me than he that is in the world. I'm just me. It's nothing spectacular about me. I'm just regular. But when I was ignited with Christ, everything changed. Everything changed. And we're not done yet. I close with this. Not only did that happen with my ankle monitor, but I was also able to get my associate's degree in theology and walk across the stage with my ankle monitor. The same night my mother got her degree, her divinity in theology. The same night, you know, we tore it up that night. Oh, we had a blast that night. But by far, my crown jewel moment was when I got a chance to be home with my mom on Mother's Day, and I got a chance to wash her feet for walking all those miles with me in prison. That was the best moment of my life. I said all of that about the ankle monitor because I know somebody in here can get this ankle monitor off. Holler at me after this event. But next time you run across someone who's been to prison or is on parole or on probation, please let them know that they cannot use that as a crutch. They have to use it as a battle cry. Because prison does not defeat anybody. We defeat ourselves when we think we're too small, when we think that we're too slow, when we think we've been gone too long. God says that's a lie from the pits of hell. Anything that he has for you is yours, and can't nobody stop you from having it but you. I hit rock bottom. I know what it looks like. It's not a pretty place. But what I also found out is that when you hit rock bottom, God's got a big office down there. And he's there with open arms. And he says, I couldn't wait to see you. Because a lot of people think it ends there. No, that's where it gets good at. Remember, I told y'all I thought my life was over. I said I want to be one of those guys in a plane, anybody. But today, I wouldn't trade my life for anybody. I love my life. And it's comeback season. Somebody say it's comeback season. It's comeback season. And that's for anybody who wants it. His name is Jesus. I dare you to know him. Amen. Thank you.
Powerful, very powerful, very powerful. Quincy, I haven't known you as long as Jameson, but both of you very powerful. Y'all are very active, in alumni events. Coming this January, we'll unveil or unroll our alumni formal association. And so with that, the individuals, y'all are the foundation of that as we try to get that off the ground and running, because y'all are so instrumental in what we do. And so with that, before we close, we'll have few closing words. We had another formerly incarcerated individual would like to just come up and say something to encourage you before we get out of here. Lateef Williams.
Without doubt.
Yeah.
It's an honor and a blessing to be amongst y'all, for real, honestly. It's great, mind-blowing. But it's two key words I want to key in. It's called persistent and consistent. When you're persistent in something, you can get it. A lot of people have a lot of things, but you have to be consistent and keep it. And seeds, you plant them in the ground, they grow down first, because you have to plant it. It has to be solid and founded. And a lot of times you don't never see that work. This is the work of the seeds that have been planted amongst us. This is the reward. This is the fruit that is bearing. She said earlier, a lot of people like instant gratification. This is the microwave era. But you have to keep at it. You have to keep striving. And you have to associate yourself with those people. You have to want it. You have to drive and have that determination. And it's more important, the support system that we have around us, our mothers, you know what I'm saying, our fathers, our friends, the community. That helps as well, because the dark days are a lot. But there comes time, and this is time for that. So I just wanted, like, I don't have a lot of time, but to continue to network, put in the work, and we'll all get the reward. So I'm a blessing to be here, man. I know a lot of people here, and like Greg was saying, I would have never imagined being in this room with the people that I know. And comment on what Quincy said, that character has opened the door. The way you carry yourself, the way you conduct yourself, it opens the door that money can't buy. It opens up, you know, avenues for you. You have to just keep striving and on that road to get to where you want to go. And you made me feel so bad. I'm finna hurry up. I owe Lee College some money. I'm finna hurry up. But it's an honor. It's a trip. Yeah, I know, for real. It's an honor and a blessing to be here. I thank you, Tracy, and everybody else, Quincy. I look forward to next year and participating. God need to keep putting in the work. Adam. All right, Jay.
Yeah. With that, we have some awards, or we wanted to present a plaque to our speakers, Quincy Moore, as well as Jameson Swan Charles, and he still didn't tell y'all his story how he became Swan. But we would like to present y'all with this as a token of our appreciation and gratitude for speaking tonight.
So during the day, all of the guest speakers were awarded a plaque in recognition of their speaking, and so that's what we wanted to do for you all as well. And we're going to have your names engraved on it at a later date, but that's just something for taking the time to speak.
Craft shop?
Craft shop. Yeah, cabinet making? Cabinet making program. Yeah. So thank you guys for coming up here to speak. I definitely couldn't have competed with the way that they just both preached. I've never actually heard Quincy speak like that. He talks to me all the time, and he's a great speaker. So is Jameson, but I've never heard him speak like that. So we really appreciate you all for the first banquet that we had to have you two speak. It was amazing.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for having me.
Well, I want to pass on a message from our president of Lee College, Dr. Linda Villanueva. She's an awesome president, and one of the first things that she said when she came to Lee College was what interested her the most was our prison education program. And she's been watching the live stream tonight, and she wanted you to know she is so proud to be your president. So it comes from the top all the way down. So we really appreciate her watching tonight, and she's very honored to be serving you as your president. So thank you all for being here.
All right, as we close, we just wanted to thank you for everybody that came out and those that are watching the live stream. This is the first annual alumni banquet that we had, and so it's not the last one. Hopefully we won't have another COVID incident and shuts everything down. But I'll say this because it was a lot of great words that were said, inspirational words. Mohandas Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. And in the words of the street prophet Tupac, he said, penitentiary is packed with promise makers, never realizing, y'all can come on with the precious time they wasted. Institutionalized. They live my life hardened, too hardened for a smile. So I say that because y'all are the promise makers. Y'all are making it happen out here. Y'all are forerunners. Continue to do what you do, because you never know the impact that you have on others and the doors you open for others. And I say that to encourage y'all, and I'll take my
Another good speech, closing speech. I should have just said mic drop and let it end right there. But I want to thank you all for driving all the way out here and fellowshipping with us for our first annual banquet. Like you said, this is just the beginning. We hope that this will become an annual tradition that will grow even beyond those who have attended college while they were incarcerated, and become sort of the go-to annual event to recognize people who attended college educational programs while they were incarcerated, and all of the stories that each of you told about your own stories and your vision and your advice to those who will come behind us. That is exactly the kind of message that we want to promote moving forward. That it's a lot about character and ambition and things that are well within our power to change and be successful. So thank you once again, everyone, for coming out. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Brandon.
Hey, we want to take some pictures.
Yeah, we're gonna take some pictures. I'm gonna end the live stream. We're gonna end the live stream now. Thank you all.
I believe we have some extra food over here. You're more than welcome to make a plate to go. And please do that for us. I think the remainder of the food will be donated to our Good Shepherd's mission. So please help yourself, and we'll satisfy that.